students, parents, and welcome guests. I'm over here on the side. I've set everything up here today. We're going to be looking at this book called Vegan is Love. It's written by Ruby Roth. This is a children's book, and as usual, I have my pad of paper here, and I'm going to be evaluating this. If I see something that I like, I'll give it a check mark. If I see something I don't like, I'll give it an X. You guys can do the same thing if you like. Kind of makes it fun to look at things because it forces us to really look at things more clearly as opposed to just passively learning. We're also actively doing something to make sure that we're paying attention. Oh, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And also press the notification button. That way we can be together more often and get to know each other. I love to look at your comments in the comment section. When there are kind comments, it's wonderful. Or if you have suggestions, please feel free to write your suggestions in the comment section as well. I don't get to read them all of the time, but I have an assistant who looks at them. And when there's something interesting and notable, they are communicated to me. Of course, I ignore all of the mean comments that are just simply personal attacks. But I do appreciate when you give me some constructive feedback because, you know, we're all here in the school of life, learning together. So let's have a look here. The first thing we notice is that there are lots of drawings here. And they seem to be quite detailed. It looks like a lot of work went into this. Wow. So at the beginning, she talks about here. Let's just read a little bit here. How wonderful that at this very moment, every person, big and small, has the power to create a better world. We don't have to wait to grow older for laws to change or for presidents to be elected. We can begin right now. We can choose to live without using animals for food, clothing, or fun. As vegans, we live this way because it is best for our health, for animals, and for the earth. And that is love. Many people know that animals around the world are treated badly, yet they turn their minds away. To be vegan means to care deeply about how our choices help or harm animals, how we create peace or suffering in the world. Our choices are powerful. Vegan is love. Let's turn the page. So far, I actually like that. I think I'm going to give that a check mark. What do you guys think? Did that seem like a nice introduction to you? I'll give it a check mark when I think something is good. Living with love and clothing. Okay, so there's a little part here about clothing. We love to dress in sports and stripes. That makes us look like animals. Oh, in spots. Okay, I see what she's saying. Like spotted clothing like leopard. That make us look like animals. Fur, feathers, and scales are beautiful too, but only on the animal that wears them. Today, we can put on natural and man-made materials instead of animal parts. There's no harmless way to use the skins of animals. Their bodies belong to them, just as our bodies belong to us. Okay, so I agree with that. I think there's no excuse for animal abuse. And look at all the drawings that she has here to show that. Fur and feathers and wool. All right, a chapter on clothing, that's good. So let's give that a check mark too, that we're talking about clothing and learning about how not to exploit animals. Here we have animal testing. Animal testing. That's also very sad. Animals are often used in labs to test shampoos, soaps, cleaning supplies, and more. Some are stolen from the wild, and most get ill or die in the experiments. But it doesn't have to be this way. If we stop buying these products, companies will get the message and stop experimenting on animals. With our dollars, we can show the world what we care about. Cruelty-free products have signs like these. See, this one says vegan. This says no animal testing. And this one says no animal ingredients. So you can look for those when you're buying different items that you use. Very good. I like that. And you can see from the illustrations the sad animals that are trapped in these cages. And some of them, they have burn marks because they burn them to see, how far that these products will go. And they have just devastating wounds in them. They're very sad. It's really terrible what we do to animals. Awful. Zoos. The zoo might be exciting, but for whom? Not the animals. There's nowhere to run, hunt, forage, or drink from rivers. Trapped, the animals grow sad, sick, and angry. A zoo can never replace life in the wilderness. Look at the picture here. Imagine that. Look at all the people looking at them as they suffer. Who would want to go to a zoo and watch animals suffer? There's no need for that. It's a good job, Ruby Roth, doing a little bit of a chapter there about the zoos. This is quite good for the kids. We have more drawings here. Oh boy, and of course, look, sea parks and aquariums. Marine parks say they offer a fun way to learn about wild animals, but how can we learn from prisoners in a pool? In the wild, orcas, whales live in huge families called pods. They are deep divers who swim up to 100 miles per day. But to be a whale in a marine park would be like spending your life alone in a space the size of a bathtub. Wild animals are meant for life in the wild. To keep them free, we do not visit these parks. Okay, I know it is tempting to visit these parks because we want to see these animals ourselves, but it's not right. All right, Ruby, another check mark. Talking about the sea parks and aquariums. These are really important things for kids to learn about. She also talks about the circus. You do not have to be an expert to know that animals do not want to balance on balls or jump through hoops of fire, but circus animals have to perform tricks whether they like it or not. If they don't, they are tied up or beaten with sticks, whips, and hooks. The cheerful ringleader does not fool us. We will not see his show. Very good, Ruby. Ruby Roth has also written here about the circus. It's another check mark. She also talks about racing. For animals, racing is loud and scary and dangerous. Many animals are injured or killed when they no longer run. They are left at shelters, sent to slaughterhouses or labs, or put to death. If we share what we know, people won't take part in hurting animals. That's why she wrote this book. Another check mark for Ruby. What else do we have here? Hunting and bullfights and rodeos. The importance of not taking part in these as well. 2 more check marks. Thank you, Ruby, for talking about hunting and bullfighting. I won't read you the whole book because I would like you to buy this book, I think. I think it's a good one to buy. I mean, look at this. It has wonderful pictures. Seems to be talking about all types of animals. Here we have a chapter about health as well. The truth is we do not need to eat meat or dairy. Most animals in the world are herbivores, and just like them, we can grow strong and healthy by eating from nature's garden. This way, our bodies do not collect the chemicals, fat, and disease found in animal products. Instead, we feed our bodies with love and life. Today, being vegan is a healthier way to live. All right. Amazing. Another check mark for you, Ruby. So talking about doing no harm in this chapter here. Do no harm. Let's read a bit. Still, some people feel good about eating meat and dairy if the animal had a nice life on a farm nearby. But whether they live in the sunshine or in the dark shed, all animals raised for meat and dairy are captured and killed in the end. Their deaths are violent and sad. As vegans, we do not bring the pain and suffering of any animal into our happy, healthy bodies. Thank you, Ruby, for that reminder. Excellent. Now we also talk about pollution in this book. Ruby shows a picture of factory farming and how so many trees are gone and these animals live often in these sheds without even being able to go out. Animal farms create more pollution than just the world's cars. That pollution than all the world's cars, ships, trains, and planes put together. These farms use pesticides to kill bugs, hormones, and make the animals grow terribly big, and toxic drugs for the sick. And they leak tons of animal poop too. Oh. The poisonous pollution travels thousands of miles, leaving rivers without fish, gardens without birds, and once colored reefs dry and white. With all this pollution, eating animals has even changed our weather. This way of eating has been a big mistake. This way of eating, she says, has been a mistake. I don't know why I added the word big there. Have you ever done that when you read out loud? It's really fascinating to watch ourselves in a video reading out loud or to be aware. Sometimes we just add our own words. I've seen this done with all of my students and with all the other teachers that I've observed. Our minds are crazy. So now she's talking about organics. Raising plants instead of animals is gentler on the earth. Okay, this is also very good. I forgot another check mark from before, and organics, very good. And of course, she's talking about people. Wow, this is great. The world grows enough grain to feed everybody, but not everyone eats. Why? Every year, the grain is used to feed 65 billion animals raised for meat and dairy, instead of the 1 billion people in the world who are starving. Today, big companies are taking over people's land to build even more animals and raise grain to feed them. That's sad. To these companies, we say no. A vegan way of eating uses less land and water, leaving more to share with others. Our love reaches across the world so everyone may live free from pollution and hunger. Wow. I agree, Ruby Roth. It's a very good message. So she also talks here about the forests. I mean, I could go on and on with these check marks. Basically, Ruby, this is an amazing book. I highly recommend this. Talking about the oceans and the sea life and the Arctic. With a cooler and cleaner planet, we will protect sea ice from melting and wildlife from disappearing. Families will not lose the land beneath their paws. Our love reaches to the ends of the earth. Yeah. Animals are friends, our companions. They're here with us on the earth, not for us. Fantastic. This is great. At breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at the store or in school, we remember our love for animals. They are part of our everyday lives, part of our hearts. When we see them, we can feel them and know that we are here together, living, breathing, eating, playing, and loving under the sun. In the end, only you can choose how to eat and live. It takes courage to ask, what kind of person do I want to be? And decide the answer yourself. The choice to be vegan is especially brave. It means you are standing up for yourself and all other living beings, and that is love. Our choices are powerful. Vegan is love. And that's what I say too all the time, that to be vegan means you have to be brave, because we have a world that is so different and that fights against us when we try to be vegan. So you have to be brave and be able to stand up against the mean people of society and to say, we want to be kind. So what do we have here? 15 check marks. I honestly can't think of anything negative to write. And if you look here, Ruby Roth has another book called That's Why We Don't Eat Animals. And also V is for vegan. So I want to thank you today for being here in class and looking at this book with me. I hope you consider buying it. I know you can get it on Amazon. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe and press the notification button. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Don't forget to eat your veggies, fruits, nuts, and seeds, and be proud to be vegan. And if this is the day that you decide to be vegan once and for all, happy Vegan Declaration Day. Welcome to the club. Do, 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 do.